Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Well, life in the big leagues not always as glamorous as you might think. This was our group last night following the game in Anaheim. A long bus ride to LAX for a flight back to Phoenix and a late arrival in the early morning. That means another loading and unloading and another bus ride to take us back to Chase Field long after dark. A 4-game home-and-home series. So even after all this travel, we are still playing the Angels. But now it's home sweet home for 2 more versus Trout, Pujols and company. And we are back home inside Chase Field. The 3-city, 8-game road trip behind us, and we're back home for D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. And good evening from Chase Field. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brentley along the way. We're still playing the L.A. of Anaheim, Angels of Orange County, and all that stuff, BB. But the focus tonight, at least from a broadcast standpoint, as we begin this game, is the All-Star Game. Next month in Cincinnati, only on Fox. Get out the vote. You can vote as much as 35 times for every email address. And Goldie Bob has increased his lead at first base over Adrian Gonzalez.
And rightfully so. I mean, you get to this time of year, it may sound like we're denigrating a guy like Adrian Gonzalez or Anthony Rizzo. That's not the case. Very good player in his own right, but an All-Star Game should be the guy who deserves to go this year. And there's no question Paul Goldschmidt has been heads and tails above everybody in the National League at first base.
He's got more than 3.5 million votes. Diamondback fans have been doing a terrific job getting the vote Goldie word out there on social media and most importantly on the ballots. Remember, fans, you can vote up to 35 times for every email address you have. It doesn't stop there, though. However, when you look at the numbers, there's another no-brainer choice here for the Diamondbacks. You'll find him in center field. It's A.J. Pollock. He should be an All-Star as well.
Oh, absolutely. He was on his way to the All-Star Game in Minnesota last year before the injury, but putting up very similar, if not better, numbers this year than he had last year before the injury. A.J. Pollock starting to get some recognition around baseball. Diamondbacks fans are well aware of how good he is. It's time for the rest of Major League Baseball to find out how good A.J. Pollock is.
Yeah, top 10 in the league in hitting, top 20 in OPS, top 5 in defensive runs saved. Don't forget the defense as well. These numbers certainly All-Star worthy.
Besides that, Goldie needs to have a teammate in that All-Star locker room. It'd be nice if A.J. was lockering right next to him.
So how about this? The star power for you tonight here on Fox Sports Arizona. Goldie and Pollock, Trout and Pujols getting some All-Star respect. And then it's the Diamondbacks and the Angels, game 3 of 4 from Chase Field. Coming up next. Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. We're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box.
Welcome back to Chase Field. I'm Kate Longworth coming at you from Diamondbacks voting headquarters. That's right. As the D-backs continue this home-and-home series with the Angels, you fans have a chance to have an impact on the action by deciding who you want to be represented at the Midsummer Classic. You can head to dbacks.com/vote. You have 35 votes per email address, and you want to send your favorite Diamondbacks to Cincinnati next month. So if this isn't convincing you, well then how about listening to one of the best in baseball? That being Albert Pujols talk about one of the best in the D-backs uniform, Paul Goldschmidt, and why he belongs in the All-Star uniform.
I see in him a lot of things that I still do. I mean, just the story of the game, the preparation, and don't take anything for granted. He wants to win, and I got that a lot from him. I mean, he wants to do the best that he can to help his guys around and help this organization, the Diamondbacks, to win. And it's just a pretty special player. I'm glad he's having a heck of a year.
All right, so you have a chance tonight. Get online. If you're at the game anytime this weekend, head over to the All-Star voting headquarters. Send your Diamondbacks to Cincinnati next month. And in the meantime, we'll get you ready for first pitch. It's on the other side. Sit tight.
Chase Field, and on the mound for the Diamondbacks, your Arizona Ford starting pitcher tonight is Chase Anderson. The last time we saw Chase was Friday. He was taking a no-hitter into the 7th inning in San Francisco. His pitching coach is Mike Harkey.
Chase has got a good routine. He's been growing ever since he came in last year. He's gotten a little bit better every time. He's found a nice niche for himself. He's got a nice little routine. And he's building confidence, and he's going out there with a lot of confidence, and that helps.
The numbers on Chase this year: a 2.82 ERA ranks him in the top 10 in the National League, a 1.13 WHIP, top 20 in the league. He has not lost a start since April 27th.
And he's only surrendered 3 home runs all season. That's tied for the fewest among qualified starters in all of Major League Baseball. Four-seamer, that's been his fastball of the past. The two-seamer kind of incorporated this year. It's become a really nice weapon for him. We know he's got that great changeup, and will drop that occasional curveball in there to steal a strike.
Aaron Hill at third base, a step or two in on the grass. Eric Ibar, the leadoff man, and we are underway at Chase Field. Strike one, says Jim Wolf, our plate umpire tonight. Ibar 251 this year. The on-base percentage under 300 for the leadoff man. You see the OPS below 600. Ibar has one hit in the series and is 2 for his last 26 at the plate. They are trying to get this offense going. Roller to second base. Sounded like he broke his bat. Owings is there. And there's one away for Chase Anderson. The lineup for Mike Scioscia's LA Angels of Anaheim.
We've seen Eric Ibar at the top. He'll be playing shortstop. Cole Calhoun, the ASU product, out in right field. Mike Trout in center. Albert Pujols over at first base. David Freese playing third tonight after DHing the 2 games in Anaheim. Matt Joyce out in left field. Johnny Giovatella at second base. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. And Hector Santiago, the left-hander, on the mound.
Here is Cole Calhoun, the Buckeye and ASU product. Jumps on the first one, but lines it right to CO. Very quickly, 2 down for Chase.
Well, we saw similar aggressiveness out of the Angels in that 2-game series at the Big A in Anaheim. A lot of early pitch swinging from these Angels, trying to slug their way out of a slump.
Well, 2 outs on 4 pitches so far, and here's Trout. Mike Trout, 298, 18 home runs, only 1 behind Albert Pujols for the American League lead. Get your camera phones ready. He has a pair of hits in the series. He's been on base much of the series so far. He's also walked twice. And he was, I mean, batting practice was stupid with this guy. He was hitting them up on the home run porch out there, down tunnels and walkways. Now 110 degrees outside at first pitch in downtown Phoenix. A nice comfortable 79 with the roof and panels closed at Chase Field.
After watching the Angels take batting practice, it's probably a good idea that the roof and panels are closed tonight, because Trout might have hit a few of them out onto the street.
It was fun to watch. Drops that one in there for a strike. A ball and 2 strikes, and then after Trout's group is done in batting practice, then Pujols takes over and it starts all over again. This is upstairs. It's 2-2.
Yeah, come on out and watch them. The guys will be out early tomorrow taking batting practice before the day game. Air conditioning will be cranked up. This will be the place to be.
Got him. Wellington Castillo hangs on, and Chase Anderson, a good start, a 1-2-3 first underway back home at Chase Field. Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Angels. It's Hector Santiago, 27-year-old left-hander, who's done a nice job for the Angels this year. Here's Mark Grace.
He throws kind of across his body, so he's got a little deception to him. Madison Bumgarner kind of throws the same way, steps kind of towards his own dugout and then comes across his body. So some deception. Obviously, he doesn't throw as hard as Madison Bumgarner, but he likes to throw a cutter into right-handers and a changeup and a slider as well.
A.J. Pollock leads it off for the Diamondbacks and jumps on the first pitch from Santiago. High fly ball to Trout in center field. The lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks as David Peralta steps in.
With Ender Inciarte on the disabled list, A.J. Pollock filling that leadoff role. He'll be out in center field. David Peralta in left field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base with Yasmani Tomas in right field. Aaron Hill at third base. Chris Owings at second. Wellington Castillo doing the catching tonight. Nick Ahmed at shortstop and right-hander Chase Anderson on the mound.
So Peralta in the 2-hole against the left-hander. And there's a strike 0-1. No Ender Inciarte on the DL with that right hamstring strain. Chip Hale told us yesterday was not as bad as they first feared. It was by no means a catastrophic injury, but they're going to be careful all the same.
Speed is such a big part of Ender's game, both on the bases and defensively in the outfield. You don't want to tempt him to return too quickly and re-injure that hamstring, so a 15-day DL stint is probably the best thing to do.
Of course, with Ender on the DL, the outfield as it's configured tonight is probably going to be hit for a while, Chip Hale told us. Peralta in left, Pollock in center, and Tomas in right. And that means that against a left-hander like tonight, David Peralta's got to find a way to deliver. This has been the one part of his game that has not progressed at this level, his ability to hit left-hand pitching.
It's funny how things like this happen. Injuries are part of every team over the course of a summer, but it's an opportunity in my eyes for David Peralta to possibly show that he deserves more at-bats against lefties, or show that he should be part of a platoon, because he's going to get chances.
Yeah. He's worked it full here. Good job by David to this point. Just 2 for 21 against left-hand pitchers this year. And of course, he hit under 200 versus lefties last season. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Got him. The numbers on Hector Santiago, a 2.59 ERA, 7th best in the American League, more strikeouts than hits allowed. That whip, 1.18, good for top 20 in the league. He can lose his command from time to time. He will walk people.
And we're told he likes to double up inside to the righties. You heard Gracie talk about that cut fastball. Those are his primary pitches, a 4-seamer, a cutter, and a changeup. He'll throw an occasional slider, occasional curve, occasional screwball.
Screwball?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last guy that threw a screwball. Fernando Valenzuela.
John Franco's changeup had some screwball action from time to time, but yeah, legitimate screwball. Probably have to go all the way back to Fernando.
So here's Goldie on our all-star broadcast. See if he can sneak a screwball by Goldie. Batting average, as we showed you, .361, leads the major leagues. He's second in the majors in both RBIs and OPS. And crushing lefties at better than a .400 clip this year. That includes 4 home runs. And A.J. Pollock over .380 versus left-hand pitching. Drives that one high and deep and kiss it goodbye. Hashtag vote Goldie, his 19th, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
You don't usually see a lot of reaction from Goldie, but a big smile as he got back to the dugout after this titanic blast to right center field. He just continues to amaze on a daily basis. Even the guys playing against him are amazed at what they're seeing from Paul Goldschmidt this year.
And the great thing is he gets back in the dugout, gives like 6 guys a scouting report.
Yep. In. You heard him say at one point.
Not basking in the moment, not high-fiving people and posing for pictures. He's talking to his teammates. Yasmani Tomas drops that into center for a base hit. This is not an easy top of the lineup for Santiago tonight. I mean, you've got Pollock, Goldie, Tomas, Hill, all good right-handers up there for the Diamondbacks.
Down and got it. Yasmani Tomas picking on a low pitch and golfing it into center field. Keep the line moving.
Next up, it's Aaron Hill getting this started. Third base tonight against the left-hander. A night off for Jake Lamb. Aaron batting .234 and 3 homers. Had a pair of hits and walks in the Giants series. And it's been tough for him to get going this year with a lack of consistent at-bats. And as Chip Hale told us yesterday, they're still not comfortable running Jake Lamb out there every day, 5-6 days in a row, not coming off that foot injury, at least not yet. And so as a way to get Aaron Hill some at bats and make sure Jake Lamb's foot is 1,000%, they will still sit him against the occasional lefty like they're doing tonight. 2-0 pitch. That one missed, and it's 3 balls and no strikes.
One thing you can be sure of for Paul Goldschmidt, he's ready to play when the game begins. In his first at bat of a ball game, he's hitting .325 with 10 doubles, 6 homers, and 22 runs driven in. Some guys ease into the game. Goldie just jumps in with both feet.
4-pitch walk for Santiago. So 3 in a row have reached for the Diamondbacks, all with 2 outs. It brings up Chris Owens. Still giving that scouting report on what he saw up there. Well, how many mound visits did Mike Butcher make the first 2 games in Anaheim?
He had to be exhausted. You know, he's heard Goldie when he got back to the dugout telling his teammates in. Well, you could see the first 3 pitches from Santiago were inside, only one on the corner there, but once that ball straight out over the middle of the plate, it was all over. Good hitters will tell you, you have to hit the mistakes.
Yasmani Tomas, the runner at second. Aaron Hill at first. 2 outs for Chris Owens. Tomas got a big secondary lead there. Almost was halfway to third base by the time Santiago delivered the pitch.
Yeah, nobody close to him out there in the middle. Ibar at short is playing straight away at his position. Same thing for Giavotella at second base. He's getting a big walking lead out there.
I'll give you a live look at Tomas. Yeah, there's no Angel infielder within at least 15 feet of that second base bag. So Tomas can roam free out there. But Owens is down 0-2. CO at .238 and 2 homers. He's hit safely in 3 straight. He has not seen lefties very well this year, Chris Owens. 6 for 49. There go the runners. The throw to second is not in time. Double steal by the Diamondbacks. The foot is on the gas pedal. Ianetta's throw down there to Giavotella, not in time and a little offline. Giavotella had to scramble to get back to the bag to catch that throw.
That's why you've got to run hard as the trail runner. Aaron Hill watching Yasmani Tomas ahead of him. Sometimes it's much easier to throw for that trail runner than the lead runner because you could clearly see Tomas had a ginormous primary lead and a big walking lead at second. It was going to be tough to throw him out at third. So the Angels tried to throw to the trail runner, and even Aaron Hill was able to get in underneath the tag. 4th steal for Tomas. That's number 3 for Aaron Hill. Second and third, 2 outs. A 1-2 count on Owens. Base hit right here would be a big one. Look out, Andy Green.
Andy Green told me yesterday that coaching third base is the closest thing you can have to still playing, because you are right down there. You're wired up. The adrenaline's running on every pitch. You're kind of in the game, almost like a player. He was in the game on that one, that's for sure. Another 1-2.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Strange numbers for CO against lefties. He hit .309 versus left-handers last year, but this year just 6 for 49. Santiago laboring here in the first. 6th Diamondback hitter in this inning, and he's already close to 25 pitches. Got him. So they leave 2, but they get 1. Hashtag vote Goldie. Paul Goldschmidt, his 19th of the year, and it's 1-0 D-backs. Diamondbacks with a Paul Goldschmidt homer have a 1-0 lead. Now it's Pujols, Freese, and Joyce 4, 5, and 6 for the Angels against Chase Anderson, who had a 1-2-3 9-pitch first inning. Pujols 273. Those 19 homers lead the American League. He got his 19th last night at Angel Stadium. That's his only hit in this series.
Only one hit in the series, but it was a loud one.
And Jeremy Hellickson just pitched a tremendous ball game. That was the real shame of this. And Jeremy was, man, he was really down. As down as I've ever seen him last night after the game. He pitched a beauty.
Well, and I think he knows that was the best stuff he's had all year. He was just outstanding with all 3 of his pitches. But you make one mistake to the wrong guy, and it can really ruin your evening.
Shift is on for the Diamondbacks with 3 infielders on the left-hand side and a 3-0 count to Pujols. Gets that one up in the air. It's playable for Tomas. 1 away. Able to basically pop up on a 3-0 pitch. Let's take a look at the Diamondbacks around Chase Anderson. It's our mid-first bank starting defense.
An outfielder, Peralta in left, Pollock in center, Tomas over in right. Left side of the infield, Aaron Hill at third base, Nick Ahmed at short. The right side is Chris Owings at second and Paul Goldschmidt at first. Wellington Castillo doing the catching tonight for righty Chase Anderson.
There's the other guy that homered for the Angels last night, David Freese, back at third base. And hitting .241 now with 10 homers. Had the 2-run home run last night that made it 4-1. Freese's batting average as recently as the last week of May was down to .213 for the year. But he has picked up the pace lately. Saw him homer last night, better than .320 over his last 17 games. That's in there for a strike. But the homer last night still his only hit of the series. Good pitch there by Chase, and it's even 2-2.
Yeah, David Freese was the DH, so 2 games in Anaheim, but playing third base tonight, and that's a situation the Diamondbacks might be able to exploit. David Freese is not a good defensive third baseman. He's only made 4 errors this season, but a lot of plays that other third basemen make, he does not.
Chase misfires with that one, and it's a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This was Freese last night against Randall Delgado.
That's one thing he's always been good at. Opposite field power for a right-handed hitter. Hit a lot of his home runs as a member of the Cardinals to the opposite field.
It's that in the air to right center field. Tomas coming in. Balls off A.J. Pollock. 2 down. It's another long ball threat for Mike Scioscia. It's the slumping Matt Joyce, but he's dangerous against right-hand pitchers. That's the way Joe Madden always used him in Tampa Bay, into great effect, but he's slumping this year as an Angel. 181, 2 for his last 19 up there. Traded to Tampa Bay after, or traded from Tampa Bay, I should say, after last season. Chase falling behind in the count throughout this second inning. Now 20 pitches, 10 balls, 10 strikes. Shift is on for Joyce, and there's a strike. 1-1. Johnny Giavotella, former Kansas City Royal, and the second baseman would be next. 2-1 is in there.
Good change up there. Joyce started his hands, but stopped when he saw the off-speed pitch. It stayed right there at the bottom of the strike zone.
That's a fair ball. Goldie's on it, chasing a foot race to the bag, and it eats Joyce to get out of the second. Well, what else does he need to do to get your vote? Hashtag vote Goldie, a home run, and now a defensive dazzler down the first base line. It's 1-0 Diamondbacks.
keeping the Angels off the board with his defense down there at first base. Diving into foul territory to make the play. A perfect feed right in stride to Chase Anderson. And Goldie even looked up at Adrian Johnson, the first base umpire, to get a call before he made that throw. Let's look at the umpire here. Okay. Fair ball. I better get it to Chase and get the out.
Wellington Castillo. And of course, with Adrian Johnson, you have to really give him a look because he might change his mind, as we saw the other nights. He was the third base umpire. We have the same umpiring crew for this series as well, all 4 games home and home. And Adrian on a ball down the third base line the other night, signaled foul and then immediately changed his mind and signaled fair. Caused some confusion. Castillo 182 with 3 homers, 5 for 23 with the Diamondbacks. This was Adrian Johnson the other night. Watch him wave his arms foul, then change his mind, to the confusion of almost everyone. Foul ball. Nope, fair ball. You can see Tomas stopped halfway up the line. And he got basically a do-over.
Got a do-over. It's like when you're playing in the backyard with your buddies. I wasn't ready. I get a do-over.
A ball and 2 strikes to the Diamondback catcher. Adrian Johnson emphatic that time again. That's 3 strikeouts for Santiago.
Shortstop number 13.
They were so close, but it looked like, well, they got it out there just a little bit too far.
Shortstop Nick Ahmed now. Nick at .221 with 3 homers. Ahmed has a pair of hits and a pair of base on balls in the series so far. He's doubled and scored twice. Hector Santiago began his career with the White Sox. He split his time there between the rotation and the bullpen, and came to the Angels before last season, you might recall, as part of the 3-team trade that involved the Diamondbacks. Brought Mark Trumbo to Arizona, sent Adam Eaton to the White Sox, and Tyler Skaggs to Anaheim. Three-1 to Ahmed. That's in there for a strike. Still looking for the first Santiago screwball of the evening.
Yeah, we may see one. We may not see one. They said he throws it on occasion. I ask, is it just a changeup that he turns over a little bit? And we're told it's a legitimate screwball, but he doesn't use it very often.
Take a look at the Angels defensively. Our mid-first bank starting defense.
Matt Joyce, Mike Trout, and Cole Calhoun across the outfield left to right. David Freese at third. Eric Ibar at short. Johnny Giavotella at second base with Big Albert Pujols over at first. Chris Iannetta doing the catching tonight for lefty Hector Santiago.
Cole Calhoun from Buckeye and ASU right field. And there's the walk to Ahmed. Second walk issued by Santiago.
You know, it's hard to even demonstrate what a screwball is and what it does. Very few guys throw it because it puts a lot of strain on your arm. Most pitches you throw, your hand is either behind the ball, or a curveball, you're on top of the ball, a slider, you're around the side of the ball. But all those movements move your arm this direction. A screwball goes the opposite way. You turn your elbow in, you rotate your wrist in, and the ball will fade down and away from the opposite-handed hitter. In the case of Santiago throwing to a righty, a screwball would fade down low and away from a right-handed hitter.
Does that put a lot of torque on the elbow or the arm?
Man, does it ever. I was telling a story earlier today. I had a chance to meet Carl Hubble years ago in San Francisco, and of course Carl Hubble was a notorious screwball pitcher, and we were at a cocktail party, and he actually was holding his cocktail. Let's see if I can describe this.
Nice bunt by Chase Anderson. And they move Ahmed along 2 outs.
You know, if you reached out to pick up a glass or a cup, you know, you would just stick your hand out there and pick it up. Carl Hubble actually turned his arm completely upside down to pick up his drink because he had thrown so many screwballs in his arm and his muscles and his ligaments and tendons that kind of stretched out to the point where it was more comfortable for him to reach out and pick up a cup with his thumb down.
Great New York Giants pitcher, Carl Hubble. A.J. Pollock flying out to center, swung at the first pitch. His first time up against Hector Santiago. Don't forget to rock the vote, D-backs fans. You can vote as many as 35 times from every email address for the All-Stars. Let's get Goldie in there and A.J. Pollock as well. There's a strike. A.J. back from the 8-game road trip. 8 hits and 6 RBIs on the trip, including his home run off Kenley Jansen at Dodger Stadium last week. The 0-1 misses, a ball and a strike. As we showed you earlier, A.J., another guy in this Diamondback lineup tonight, just crushing lefties. Hitting left-handers at a .382 clip this year. That's about a 100-point jump up from his batting average against right-hand pitching. Long look back at second. Finally, Jim Wolfgren's time. Ahmed was dancing around back there.
That's actually the right thing to do if you're Hector Santiago. It didn't even make our Fox tracks, but yeah, that's when guys get hurt, when they try to stop in mid-pitch. So yeah, just go ahead and let it go. Timeout's been called. You can throw it in the upper deck if you want.
Giavotella at second base, a little closer now to that bag with Ahmed leading off. That one misses inside. Really trying to come inside to righties. 2 balls and a strike.
Vote AJ. See the center field comparison with Andrew McCutchen and Jock Peterson. Of course, Jock Peterson, a rookie, getting a lot of notoriety. Hits a lot of long home runs. Andrew McCutchen only has an MVP award under his belt. But AJ right there with him in every category.
And by the way, AJ ranks as the best defensive center fielder in the National League. The defensive runs saved metric has AJ at +10 right now. That puts him behind only Kevin Kiermaier of the Rays and Kansas City's Lorenzo Cain among Major League center fielders. In fact, AJ ranks 4th among all big league outfielders in defensive runs saved, and the guy who's 5th right behind him is Ender Inciarte. 2-1. So don't forget to factor in defense when you're casting your all-star ballots. That one is in there for a strike, and it's even 2-2. Again, with Ender Inciarte injured, Chip Hale told us that Pollock will be the primary leadoff man here for the time being. And they thought it would be that way to begin the season, so it's not a big change, but there is a different dynamic with Inciarte hurt, that's for sure. 3-2. Peralta struck out his first time up. He's on deck. Nick Ahmed, the runner at second, 2 outs, 3 balls and 2 strikes to A.J. Pollock. Well, it has taken Iannetta and Santiago a long time to get together here.
Well, the guy throws 6 different pitches. There's a lot of shaking to do before you get to the one you want.
A whole lot of shaking going on. Called strike 3. That's 4 strikeouts for Santiago. He strands the base runner. And through 2, the Diamondbacks have a 1-0 lead. Tate, whose daughter Mariah is back from the Middle East. Big surprise. The tap on the shoulder. She turns around and there's her little girl.
What a moment.
Nicely done. So we're happy to have Lori Tate and Mariah here with us for the third of a 4-game series between the Diamondbacks and the Angels. As Johnny Giavotella, the second baseman, leads off the third. We talk about a moment you won't soon forget. Lori, an outstanding teacher at Mountain View. Daughter Mariah, just back from the Middle East.
Now, Lori thought she was being recognized for being an outstanding teacher. She had no idea that her daughter had returned.
Johnny Giavotella, 268, a pair of homers. Did not play in the ball game last night. Was 0 for 3 with a walk on Monday.
It's been a nice run through the rotation for the Diamondbacks starting pitchers, and it really all starts with the first hitter of an inning, keeping that leadoff man off base. You go back to last Friday in San Francisco, only one leadoff man out of 7 reached against Chase Anderson. Alan Webster the next night, 0 for 6, the leadoff guys against him.
Nick Ahmed boots it and will try and make a play. Probably should have just eaten it. You don't see that too often from Nick. And Giavotella is the Angels' first base runner tonight.
Just to quickly continue, Ruby De La Rosa on Sunday, 5 of 9 reached, but he had 5 double play balls in the game. As you see Nick Ahmed try to recover, but a little bit too late. Then Robbie Ray against the Angels, 0 of 7 were the leadoff men against him. Hellickson yesterday, 0 for 6, and tonight that's the first man to reach against Chase Anderson in 3 innings.
E6, the error charge to Ahmed at shortstop, and here's the catcher Chris Iannetta. Anderson had retired the first 6 he faced. That's in there for a strike, 0-1. Iannetta really struggling this year. He's at 159, does have 3 homers. He reached on a throwing error as a pinch hitter Monday, but is 2 for his last 25 at the plate. And believe it or not, that's actually been something of an improvement for Chris. This one up in the air, deep to left field, but Peralta has room. One away. That's the third fly ball out for Chase Anderson so far. 1 down.
Always a little bit dangerous to be a fly ball pitcher in this ballpark, but Chase Anderson gets a lot of fly ball outs, keeps them in the ballpark. I mentioned earlier, only 3 home runs surrendered all season long.
Hector Santiago, been an American League pitcher his whole career, so don't expect too much. Aaron Hill sprinting in from third. Goldie crashing in from first base as well. Can't get the bunt down that time. This could get ugly.
The Diamondbacks are hoping for a bunt into a double play here. Santiago does not look comfortable in that batter's box.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit.
Here comes Aaron Hill from third. Broken bat roller back to the mound. They get 1, they get 2. And that's the end of the inning. Nicely done by the Diamondbacks, who lead the Angels 1-0.
Said it's his starters who set the tone, and the players couldn't agree more. And Harkey obviously agrees. They said that the faster the players are able to get into the dugout, the more they can focus on hitting. And likewise, Goldie broke it down pretty simply. He said when a pitcher puts up zeros, it helps the offense relax. When the offense is impressing, the hitters are able to go out there, have fun, do what comes natural, and they tend to add a couple runs onto the board, and that eases the pressure for the pitcher, and so on and so forth. It goes hand in hand. Strong pitching, productive offense, and the results, well, we saw them up in San Francisco and on this road trip, that when the Diamondbacks starting pitchers can go the distance, they can really get the job done, the whole team.
And the ironic thing about those numbers, the one loss was Jeremy Hellickson. He was tremendous last night. Just kind of a hang with him for Jeremy. Ruby De La Rosa sensational in San Francisco. It's been fun to watch the last time through the rotation. And Chase Anderson tonight with a 1-0 lead. Paul Goldschmidt, a solo homer, is 19th. And David Peralta leads it off against Hector Santiago. Santiago had a good start to his year. His ERA for the season was down to 2.18 after his final start in May, when he worked 7 1/3 innings of shutout ball against the Tigers. Gave up only 3 hits in that ball game, but he's really had mixed results here in June. Lasted 5 innings against the Rays June 3rd, tagged for 5 runs, 5 hits, including a pair of homers, and allowed 2 more home runs in his last start. That was Friday against the Oakland Athletics. This is in the hole and into left field. A base hit for Peralta. Leadoff man aboard, and here's Goldie. Good bat by David. Always good to see him get a base hit against a left-hander.
Especially the other way. That's a good approach against a left-handed pitcher. His breaking stuff is all going to be working away from David Peralta. If you try to pull it, it's going to be an easy ground ball to the right side. So just stay on that ball. That time he was able to find the hole on the left side.
Vote Goldie.
Nice.
It's a movement. Absolutely launched a hanging nothing ball to deep right center field, his first time up for his 19th of the year. And you saw, remember, Santiago now at 50 pitches, only 28 for strikes. He tried to work him inside a number of times in the at-bat, then left one out over the plate, and Goldie did not miss it. Coming inside again here. Good location on that one. It's 1-1. This was the home run.
3 pitches off the plate inside, and then a fastball that's straight out over the middle of the plate. Goldie was all over.
Missed with that one. 2 balls and a strike. Goldie 0 for 3 with a walk last night. And 3 hits at Angel Stadium Monday, including number 18 on the year. Drives this one to left center field. Trout calls off Joyce. Peralta back to the bag, and that's the first out here in the 3rd.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
As Manny Tomas singled back of the 1st. Tomas 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts last night. He homered in Anaheim on Monday. And Tomas right up there among National League rookies. Talking about all-stars, don't forget about rookies of the year. And he'll be among the leading contenders if he continues at this pace by the end of the season.
And you'd like to think that Tomas will hit for some more power. We've seen it recently on off-speed pitches in the strike zone balls. He can pull to left field. Of course, his natural stroke to drive that ball the opposite way. One of his home runs has come to right field, the other two to left field.
David Peralta, the runner at first. 1 out, 0-1 to Tomas. Drives it to right. Peralta's on the run. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. And here comes that freight train around third. And there goes Yasmani. The run scores, and he's in there with a triple. Yasmani Tomas, his first big league triple, and it's 2-0 D-backs.
Balls the other way and pull the off-speed pitches. Yasmani Tomas absolutely scalds that ball to the cap in right center. David Peralta got a real good read over there at first base. Runaway train coming around third. Tomas right behind it.
That is one of my favorite things to do, is watch David Peralta run the bases like that. Tomas 90 feet away. Here's Aaron Hill. Infield comes in for the Angels. Aaron walked his first time up tonight.
The Angels' other catcher, Carlos Perez, tried to pick Nick Ahmed off third base in Anaheim the other day and threw it out into left field. It actually went as an error on the third baseman, Kubica. But the Angels like to pick on the bases.
You think if Mike Scioscia wasn't a catcher, they would do it as much as they do?
Probably not.
Catchers.
You can't help but have the view of the game that you had as a player.
Right to third. Right to Freeze. Tomas back safely. And that's the second out. Yasmani, that was hit too hard for him to wander too far away from the bag. Brings up Chris Owings. CO struck out his first time. Boy, freight train needs a little timeout in the station. He's got a full lather going down there. Well, what do you want? It's 110 outside. Nice and comfortable in here, 79 degrees. Coming to the governor. Chris Owings, his first time up, was up there with 2 outs and runners on second and third and struck out to end the first, and CO's got another chance here to get a runner in with 2 outs. And Santiago at 60 pitches, 34 for strikes. He's not been terribly efficient or effective so far. It just doesn't look like Chris Owings is seeing the ball.
Takes a lot of wild swings at pitches way out of the strike zone at times. Takes pitches right down the middle at other times. I think he's just a little confused right now, not trusting his own abilities to wait, see the ball, and then be quick with your swing.
Because the guy that we saw last year, the first half of the season, boy, he was a very promising hitter, but coming off that shoulder injury, he's just not been able to get quite right yet. And working a lot, we know, with Mark Grace and Turner Ward. Chris Crone here as well. CO, it's not for lack of effort. We see it every day. Trying to pick up a 2-out RBI here.
One thing CO has going in his favor, facing a lefty, any breaking pitches that Santiago might happen to throw will be coming into Chris Owings. It seems like he really has trouble with right-handed sliders, right-handed curveballs, breaking pitches that are going away from him.
2-2. Got him again. 5 strikeouts for Santiago. He strands Tomas at third, but not before Yasmani gets RBI number 25 on the year. His first ever triple, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Let's take a quick look at our Valley Honda keys to the game. As an American, it's your duty to vote for Goldie and Pollock and anybody else you deem worthy of all-star consideration this year. And for Chase Anderson, make a decision. 9 no decisions this season. Got to get this guy a win here at home.
His 13th start. And Eric Ibar will lead off the Angel 4th. He grounded out his first time. And, you know, with Chase, forget the win-loss record, all the no decisions that are really more bad timing than anything else with the spotty run support he's had. Bottom line is this: he has kept his walks down all season long and just hasn't allowed that many runs. And that's what you're supposed to do. Chase has walked 2 or fewer batters in a game in 10 of his 12 starts. And only 3 times all year has he allowed more than 2 earned runs in a start.
And lately has been on an unbelievable roll. Only 1 hit over his last 10 innings of work.
And the run support. I mean, it's just not been there. Despite an ERA that's top 10 in the National League, he's only got 2 wins. Flare out to left for Peralta. I mean, the Diamondbacks have scored in Chase's 12 starts coming into tonight a total of 35 runs. So that's, as we just saw, less than 3 runs a game when he's the starting pitcher.
And Diamondbacks fans will remember last year when Chase Anderson came up to the big leagues. His first 5 career starts, the offense scored 45 runs for him. Had a perfect 5-0 record, carrying a much higher ERA last year, but had 5 victories in his first 5 starts because the team was busting it out.
Cole Calhoun lined out to Owings at second his first time. It just shows you how well he has pitched, because he's got no margin for error out there whatsoever. And never better than his last start, when he took that no-hitter into the 7th at San Francisco with stuff like this. The 0-2. And Chip Hale was asked, you know, what was the difference from your perspective for Chase Anderson in that game against the Giants? And Chip said you could see Chase with good focus out there, deep breaths, and just concentrating on every pitch. He was really locked in. And Chip said that's what you have to do. And for his part, Chase said, you know, he really likes those pressure situations, and he's kind of thrived off that, because you've really got to just focus on the one pitch and the next pitch to the next pitch. You're not worried about, I got to go 6, I got to go 7, I got to do this, all that. One pitch at a time, and that's really helped him. That one is just over the glove of CO, and Calhoun's aboard. First hit for the Angels. Last time he lined out right to him. He almost did that time again.
Looked like CO was fooled by that ball a little bit. Just out of his reach. I think he's got more ups than that. The ball had a little giddy up. It took off a little bit more than Chris Owings was expecting.
Mike Trout. And Calhoun, his fans around here know, can run. He's a good base runner down there with good speed. 4 for 5 in his stolen base attempts this year, Cole Calhoun. There's a strike, says Jim Wolf back there. Trout struck out his first time up. 7 home runs in his last 16 games. Trying to keep pace with Pujols. Is there a way to approach these guys because they're back-to-back the way they are that is any different from any other situation with this type of hitter? You don't often see these two guys at this level back-to-back in a lineup.
Well, like any good hitter in a lineup, you have to keep the guys in front of them off base. Try to minimize the damage. They're going to get theirs. They're just too good of hitters to completely shut them down. So make sure you get the guys in front of them or keep those guys off base. And then the best compliment you can pay a good hitter is when you go over them in an advance meeting, they always say you just have to mix it up. There's no easy way to get them out. Some guys, hey, show them a good fastball inside, get them out with off-speed stuff away, and you can do that throughout an entire series. But against Mike Trout and Albert Pujols, you cannot pitch them the same way from at bat to at bat.
And as you've talked about, we always hear, well, you got to keep it down. He's got to keep everything down. But with Trout up there, he gets to almost everything down there.
He's a dead low ball hitter for me. That's when he features that really quick swing with the abbreviated follow through. Those are the balls you see on the highlight reels late in the evening when he hits them over the fence out into the rocks in Anaheim. Real good low ball hitter. He will occasionally chase that high fastball. Chase has tried to go up there a couple of times in this at bat.
2-2. Missed away there, and it's full. Pujols is next.
We mentioned he will chase from time to time, and Chase Anderson has tried to oblige throwing fastballs up and out over the plate. But in this at bat, Trout has been very patient, waiting for something in the strike zone.
Three-two pitch. Got him again. Chase Anderson strikes out Mike Trout for the second time. 2 down in the 4th.
Really good changeup. Threw a lot of fastballs earlier in the count, up and out of the zone. Threw what looked like a middle of the plate fastball, but Trout out in front that time. Good changeup from Chase Anderson.
Well, now, despite that terrific 3-2 pitch to Trout, he's only halfway home. One more guy to get here, and it's Albert. Flying out his first time up. And boy, over his last 18 games, Pujols is just hitting everything in sight. Last 18 games, 11 homers and 19 RBIs.
Some hitters have a tendency to really choke that bat deep into the palm of their top hand. But if you watch Albert Pujols, he's barely gripping that bat with his right hand, with his thumb and his fingers. It doesn't even get down into the palm of his hand. Tremendous strength in his hands and wrists and forearms. Just the thumb and forefingers.
And again, the Diamondbacks have the shift on defensively. Goldie holding Calhoun on the bag at first base. The right-hand side is wide open for Pujols. There's a look. How's that for a hole? He's been a tough out lately. A ball and a strike. Even more so than usual. Groove. Great Angel player Don Baylor back with the organization as their hitting coach. He's a popular guy around the batting cage in Anaheim. All the Diamondbacks jumping up to say hello.
He's a popular guy everywhere he goes.
Sure is. 2-1. Drives it to right center field, and Calhoun's on the run. Tomas over to cut it off. Gary DiSarcini will stop him at third. And Pujols is aboard. Angels have runners in the corners with 2 outs.
Change up out over the plate and down. Pujols stays right on it. He mentioned that big hole on the right side of the infield. Don't think that Albert didn't notice that as well. Got a pitch out over the plate and shot it that direction.
Angels owner Artie Moreno is with us this second half of this series. The organization has had a lot to deal with Josh Hamilton and everything else. So 2 outs in the fourth. Cole Calhoun at third and Pujols at first. David Freese will be the hitter. Freese flied out to right his first time up. Steps on the bag, and Chase Anderson is out of trouble. Hashtag vote Goldie. That's 2 outstanding defensive plays down there, plus the home run, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks.
Just he's such a smart player. I mean, the talent is there, but for him to be able to have 500 career home runs and hit for a high average and steal bases and play good D, he puts in all the work before and after. A lot of stuff none of us ever see in the off season. To have that consistency year in and year out and day by day is really impressive.
Goldschmidt breaking down for me why he admires the player Pujols is. Goldie explained he'll take any opportunity he gets to learn from one of the best in the game. The two had lunch this spring, and Paul said he is in talks with Albert to try and get them to have an off-season workout together this off-season. And he said really he takes any opportunity he can to talk to Albert before and after each game when they face off against each other. During batting practice, he'll hang out there to watch Albert and talk about batting practice. You know, when Goldie's swinging for the fences and his friends are swinging for the fences, things are looking good for the team.
Wellington Castillo. Beef Wellington, and it's 3-0. Beef, it's what's for dinner, Bob Brenly.
That's right.
That's his 4th of the year.
Wellington gets a little cut fastball, belt high inside part of the plate. Those tend to get hit a long way, and Castillo did not miss it.
He struck out to lead off the 2nd. He homers to lead off the 4th. And here's Nick Ahmed. Santiago had given up 10 homers on the year coming into tonight. He's given up 2 so far. Goldie in the 1st, and now Castillo in the 4th. Must be the cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Yeah. Are you not aware of the cinnamon test?
No.
Oh, all right. It's a kind of a thing. There's a little fly ball. What you have to do is try and swallow a tablespoon full of cinnamon in under a minute without any liquid. And Santiago tried it, and he had somebody, of course, these guys have a lot of time on their hands. Somebody with their phone videotaped it. Here it is. That's a tablespoon of cinnamon, and watch what happens.
Usually where people mess up those, they suck it in.
Wait for it, and now. Now, we don't encourage you to do that. It's not a great idea, but, you know, baseball players are hanging around the clubhouse board, and someone challenged Santiago to the cinnamon test, which is a tablespoon without any liquid. And apparently you just can't do it.
Well, a little bit of cinnamon on a breakfast roll.
I like it.
Yeah, you're right. Guys have way too much time on their hands. You know, these ball players come to the ballpark at noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon for a 6:40 game. Get their extra work in, get in the weight room, throw some iron around, do a little running, take a shower, and you still got hours before game time, and they find things to entertain themselves.
Bounced over the mound, Ibar behind the bag, can't get a handle on it, and Chase Anderson's aboard with a base hit. A little roller up the middle. It looked like it had some cinnamon on it.
Center field, A.J. Pollock.
Well placed. Chase was busting it down that line. He may have been able to leg that out anyway, but once Ibar mishandled it out there in shallow center field, turned into an easy infield hit.
Fans, in today's game, we are participating in a home run challenge. Tonight, every D-backs home run raises $12,500 for prostate cancer research, and we urge you to make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. And so far, we've done very well. A home run by Goldie in the 1st, and Wellington Castillo here in the 4th. AJ has flied out and struck out looking 0 for 2. High fly ball, shallow left center field. And Trout. 2 down. You ever see anybody in the clubhouse that was doing something they shouldn't have been doing, trying to kill some time, get themselves in a jam like that? Anything you can say on TV anywhere.
Well, I worked in Chicago for 8 years, and there was a Cubby occurrence almost every homestand. Something would happen. Somebody would get burned in the hot tub or catch their finger in a reclining chair, pull a muscle taken off their sneakers.
The Cubby occurrence.
Yeah, that's what Lou Piniella dubbed it when he was managing the ball club, because so many odd little things used to happen that didn't seem to happen anywhere other than Wrigley Field. So he called them Cubby occurrences.
So they didn't need any help.
No. 1-1. And speaking of help, you notice the handle on David Peralta's bat there. We were down in the dugout in Anaheim the other day, and I was picking up some of the bats and feeling them. You don't even need to use pine tar with these wraps that some of the batters, including David, are using. That's a real tacky, tape-like surface on that bat. You can get a tremendous grip on that thing. No worries about the bat slipping out of your hands at all.
Is it just the tape, or is there some stick 'em on there? Something?
I'm sure there's a trademark name brand that I don't know, but yeah, they put it on themselves. It wraps up the handle of the bat as far as you want to go, depending on your grip, and it is as sticky as it can be, but yet not dirty like pine tar or rosin. I mean, I was just picking it up without batting gloves on. Boy, it felt good, real sticky. You could get a nice firm grip on that bat. We used to actually take athletic tape and wrap it backwards with the sticky side out to kind of try to accomplish the same thing.
Oh, delayed strike call there from Jim Wolf. Peralta, through no fault of his own, thought he might have had ball 4 there. Kind of a late mechanic from Jim Wolf. That's up.
Right at the top of the zone. Took him a while to make up his mind that he wanted to call it a strike.
Cole Calhoun called strike 3. Peralta knew it, but the Diamondbacks add one more with some, well, forget the cinnamon, can I interest you in some beef Wellington? Castillo goes yard, and it's 3-0 Diamondbacks. On the Pacific Northwest, coverage of the 115th U.S. Open Championship is live from Chambers Bay Golf Course. It starts at 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports 1 and continues in prime time at 5 on your local Fox station. And it's all streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Beautiful Tacoma, Seattle area, Chambers Bay, the U.S. Open Championship only on Fox.
Well, last night about 3:30 in the morning, when I couldn't get to sleep after our flight back from Anaheim, I was flipping channels and I heard a preview of that golf tournament, and they were talking about that course like it has a chance to really bring some good golfers to their knees.
It's got like a links course feel to it.
And a lot of elevation changes over the course. And greens are slanted this way and that way, and false fronts and all kinds of things to trick those good golfers.
Chase Anderson out there to start the 5th. There's another look at Chambers Bay, and you can watch this again on Fox Sports 1 in the morning and your local Fox station in the evening. Just beautiful. Matt Joyce leads off the 5th. The shift is on for the Diamondbacks. Aaron Hill runs all the way over from third base and joins Bill Miller out there, the second base umpire. Joyce grounded out his first time, 0 for 1, and 2 for his last 20 at the plate. So far, Chase Anderson has given up just 2 hits, both singles. And he's got a 3-0 lead rolling along here. Ironic thing about Chase flirting with that no-hitter last week was that he said afterward, you know, he really didn't have great command on his fastball in that ball game. But he was able to make a pitch when he needed to. Got a ground ball out, get some early outs, and sooner or later you look up and he's got a no-hitter going in the 7th.
He's had a great changeup tonight. The curveball hasn't been there for him consistently. He's only thrown a few in the game, and only a couple have been good ones. But man, that straight changeup is as good as we've seen it this year from Chase.
So dart down and away from the left-hander, and there it is. But Joyce leans out, gets it on there. Can he make the jump throw? Not quite in time. And Matt Joyce is aboard with a leadoff single. That was that changeup, just dropping down and away from the lefty, but Joyce really did a good job there to reach out and poke it and roll it to shortstop.
Great effort by Nick Ahmed. Look how far he has to go just to get to that ball, and then the jump throw, tried to get as much as he could on it, but Joyce coming out of that left-handed batter's box, just able to leg it out for an infield hit.
Brings up Johnny Giavotella, who reached on an Ahmed error his first time up. A backhander that Nick just kind of missed a bit. Hit him on the heel of the glove for an E6. Cam Bedrosian getting ready, the Angel bullpen. Giavotella still without a hit in this series. And he's a good contact guy up there. He does not strike out very often at all, Johnny Giavotella. And he's shown, you know, they kind of jokingly call him Johnny Drama for you Entourage fans, because he's just got a knack for the clutch hit. And he's been up there a lot of times this year in big spots and come up with a critical hit, a 2-out hit, game-tying RBI, that kind of thing. They cannot get together at all here. And so Castillo will make a visit to the mound. Giavotella for a long time was considered the future second baseman in Kansas City. But he's got just very limited big league looks over there. Over the course of 4 years, it never did work out. Spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. Couldn't beat out guys like Chris Getz or Elliott Johnson, Emilio Bonifacio. And then finally the Royals ponied up $30 million for Omar Infante. And Infante played second base for them in the World Series. Giavotella only 12 big league games last year, but he's really done a good job here and found a home with the Angels. Joyce holds it first. That pitch misses inside. Speaking of Omar Infante, the Royal fans, they're rocking the vote. They must have a lot of email addresses. Mike Trout is the only non-Royal starter.
All very good players, but this is a joke. I mean, I commend the Royals fans for getting out and voting as often as they have to get their entire 25-man roster going to Cincinnati this year, but that game means something now, you know. Determines home field advantage for the World Series, and it's going to be affected by fan voting. That makes no sense to me.
Those are the rules. Just playing by the rules. But you're right. It's hard to not question the credibility of the whole process when you see that.
I mean, you might as well have the home field in the World Series be dependent on a game of 8-ball. You know, you just randomly pick an exhibition game. The manager has hardly any say whatsoever in the makeup of the roster for the All-Star game. But if his league happens to lose that All-Star game, he'll be shamed. You lost home field advantage in the World Series for our league.
Just wind him up and let him go, folks.
just think one should follow the other if you're going to make the game important and make it mean something.
Well, they do combine. It's really complicated now, but there are fan votes and there are player votes and there's, I don't know, secret votes. Somebody votes. It's kind of a mixture. There's a percentage of each type of vote. Somehow it all calculates in. That one misses. 2-1 now. Jim Wolf not biting on that. And of course, the same thing's happening with the Cardinals now. You know, it's not quite as bad as it was before. Matt Adams is still getting a lot of votes at first base, but Carpenter and Peralta having good years. Holliday's done all right.
Buster Posey and Yadier Molina having a pitched battle behind the plate, depending on who got to the ballot box last.
Don't forget the All-Star Game, July 14th, only on Fox from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Chase really having trouble locating here in this at bat. The pace has stopped considerably, and that's been so important for him. Just, get ahead in counts early, throw fastballs early, get ahead. And then suddenly you're in a nice flow there, a nice rhythm. That's something Mike Harkey has talked a lot about with Chase Anderson, but we've not seen it here in this fifth. In fact, it's been the opposite. The game, the flow, the pace has sort of stopped here. And sure enough, he's behind 3-1. That's in there for a strike.
It was pointed out here in the booth that the home field advantage didn't really help the Royals last year.
Well, they had Game 7 and they were, close play away from maybe tying it.
The difference being, if it was in the National League Park, Bumgarner probably would have been lifted for a pinch hitter at some point, and Michael Morse would not have been the DH, and he came up with a game-winning RBI in Game 7.
Joyce moving on the pitch. Owens can't get it, and Joyce will get third here. And he started the runner with a full count. It just trickled into right field, and now they have runners in the corners with nobody out.
This is a ball you'd like to see CO leave his feet, knock it down, hold the runners at first and second, but he tried to make a play there as he was running hard to his left. Couldn't quite get to it, couldn't get the glove down there in good enough shape to knock that ball down. It gets through, and the Angels have him on the corners with nobody out.
Mike Harkey to the mound. I know I'm in the minority on this, but I love having the All-Star Game decide the World Series. I think it's great because they used to just alternate it. So, what's the big deal? It's like you're going to flip a coin, so at least you've got something. I don't see how it's any worse than that.
I say that's fine. If you're going to have it for home field advantage, that's great. But let the manager pick the team then. You might take a guy just to be a pinch runner. You might take a Billy Hamilton to sit on the bench for 8.5 innings, bring him in a key situation to steal a couple bases and score the winning run, get home field advantage in the World Series.
What you could do, and this has been suggested all the time by people a lot smarter than me, is get rid of the idea that you have to have at least one player from each team. That's one theory that's out there. Of course, all of this is really your fault.
Not
right?
My fault. Joe ran out the same time I did. It's his fault.
Here's Iannetta. Angels threatening here. They're on the corners with nobody out. Aaron Hill. Owens. And they get two. Joyce scores. It's 3-1. Chris Owings at second here. Giavotella coming in.
Yeah, you're going to take a hit. The best thing you can do as a middle infielder, exactly what Chris does. Get your feet off the ground. Get your cleats out of the dirt so when that runner hits you, you may get flipped onto your stomach out there at second base, but you're not going to damage an ankle or a knee because your cleats were planted in the dirt.
And even though you give up the run, that's about as good of an outcome as you could have hoped for because you keep the bases empty. You get the 2 outs, and now you've got the pitcher up. So you really do knock out any chance of having a big inning here.
And let me just ask you, though, have you seen a noticeable difference in the way All-Star games are played or managed?
I find a noticeable difference in watching the game. How about Hector Santiago dropping a line to right? I find the game more compelling. I do. I think it's more interesting later in the game. Because it used to be, as a kid, you'd watch it and you just hope to see your guy get in there. Maybe he'll get in there in the 7th or 8th inning, and maybe he'll get an at bat, and that would be it. Now I find it much more compelling viewing. I don't know if they're playing it any differently, but I watch it differently.
And I don't think they're managing it any differently. We've seen, managers try to get everybody in there. That was used to be the point of the All-Star game. It was an exhibition game. Everybody wanted to see their guy, as you said, and everybody felt your job as a manager was to make sure everybody got to make an appearance.
Now, I know you want to have the managers pick the players, but this was your call in 02.
I'd have taken even more if I could have gotten away with it. I mean, Craig Counsell was on the list right up until maybe 10 days before the All-Star game. He went into a little bit of a tailspin, and his numbers dropped off to the point where I couldn't justify it.
Eric Ibar pops up. Ahmed's underneath it. And that's the end of the 5th inning, but the Angels get one. Well, it was an all-star half inning, that's for sure. 3-1 Diamondbacks. By your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Mix One, great taste, no face, available at local retailers. Well, sometimes you eat the bar, and sometimes the bar eats you. We're told by our somewhat reliable staff up here, who apparently watched a lot of Marlin Perkins, that this is an American kestrel catching that grasshopper in midair earlier today here at the ballpark, and that was dinner.
Slightly reminiscent of A.J. Pollock running down fly balls in the outfield.
Vote A.J. Here's Goldie. Homered in the first. Nice job by our crew here, Director Mitch Riggin. Yeah, you give Mitch too many toys, and suddenly you're looking at a slow-mo of a grasshopper getting eaten.
Well, what you don't realize, that was a remote-controlled grasshopper. They set that all up.
It's all staged. Kevin, nice job. That was horrifying.
For the grasshopper, it certainly was.
We're showing guys choking up cinnamon and grasshoppers getting eaten. I mean, what are we doing? 0-2. You never know what you're going to get when you come out to the ballpark. An American kestrel is the name of the bird. Dbacks.com/vote. Vote up to 35 times for every email address you have for the All-Star game. Yeah, the churro dog's got like 1,200 calories. I don't know what kind of calories a grasshopper has. Probably not as much. Diamondbacks lead the Angels 3-1. Goldie is 19th of the year, a solo shot in the first. Yasmani Tomas an RBI triple, and Wellington Castillo a solo homer for all three Diamondback runs. Now there's the same bird.
Camera hog.
Looking for more bugs. He's right on the backstop. No one misses in. See, even with the roof and panels closed here, you can commune with nature. Called strike three. Good pitch from Santiago. He's got 7 strikeouts. Take a look at our T-Mobile game-changing player, Yasmani Tomas, in the cleanup spot. We've talked about how they've got to get some consistent offense behind Goldie, and Tomas has been the answer. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Singled and stole a base in the first and had an RBI triple in the third. His first major league triple. Scored David Peralta from first after Peralta had led off the inning with a base hit. First you got the Trout. You know, Mike Trout and the Birds.
Oh, yeah. Seeing the bird have a little dinner here at the ballpark reminds me, back in '01 we had a bird that became quite the local celebrity. Guillermo Blanco. They actually gave it a name. It was a white dove that was flying around the ballpark, and usually at some point in the ball game every day he'd make an appearance and fly across the infield and then disappear into the upper reaches of the stadium. But they were doing interviews asking guys about, what do you think about Guillermo? He's your good luck charm and this and that. It's a bird.
Guillermo Blanco. I think he used to play for the Expos.
Yeah, I think so. Utility infielder. Switch hitter. Fast.
Aaron Hill. Santiago's now struck out the last 3 Diamondbacks he's faced. He's got 8 strikeouts on the night. And he's walked 2. Aaron has walked and grounded out. 0 for 1, also stolen a base. Santiago not messing around here, just throwing strikes. Struck out Peralta, looking to end the 4th, and then to open up the 5th, he got Goldie and Tomas. 0-2 on Hill. One-two pitch. Santiago, when he first joined the Angels last year, admitted he was a little intimidated by all the big stars. Said he grew up watching Albert Pujols, and in fact was too nervous to ask Pujols for an autograph. Went all year trying to get him to sign a baseball, couldn't work up the nerve. They were teammates. He said, "Oh, I know he's busy." Called strike 3. Santiago strikes out the side in order. He's got 9 strikeouts. He's punched out 4 in a row. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. We'll see Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, and Albert Pujols in the Angels 6th.
dad tickets to the 110 D-backs versus Padres matchup, and he'll thank you for giving him the best Father's Day gift, an afternoon at the ballpark. Plus, the first 10,000 dads will get the D-backs dad t-shirt courtesy of Audi. Get tickets now at dbacks.com.
Well, Cole Calhoun owes a lot to his dad, and he'll lead off the 6th inning against Chase Anderson. Diamondbacks lead the Angels 3-1. Calhoun singled his last time up, but he's got another base hit here. Cole, born at St. Luke's in Tempe, just miles away from the Angels Cactus League facility. And his dad, Greg, passed on a baseball scholarship to ASU. He was going to pursue a rodeo career.
Giddy up.
Yeah, he was a rodeo rider. But Cole's mom, Teresa, said, you're done with the rodeo stuff. We have a child now. And so Greg, his dad, got a job installing cable TV, and Cole would go along with his dad when he made his calls to install cable. As Mike Trout comes up, he struck out twice so far.
Sometime between 8 and 2.
He'll be in there somewhere in the 6 to 8 hour window. But Cole's dad, Greg, was installing cable TV. Mom Teresa worked at a Circle K convenience store for 12 years. And when Chase Field in Phoenix opened here in '98, Circle K had a sponsors walkthrough of the new ballpark, and Cole was 10 years old, and he was on the tour taking a look at the brand new park. And he told his mom, one day I'm going to play in the big leagues here on this field. And his mom, Teresa, said she never doubted it for a moment. Circle K, great sponsor of the Diamondbacks. And now here he is. Cole Calhoun was a lefty catcher in high school. And a whole bunch of Phoenix area baseball coaches told him, I don't think you're going to make our team, son. Sorry. So the family moved to Buckeye. And Cole was Skyline Region Player of the Year in baseball, also an All-State quarterback. Eventually played at Arizona State. Now he's a big league fan favorite for the Angels, playing back here at Chase Field. Trout belts it down the right field line. And Calhoun is on the run. Tomas over to cut it off. They'll stop him at third. And Mike Trout is in at second with his 14th double. Back-to-back hits opened up the inning for the Angels for the second straight inning against Chase Anderson.
Well, we talked earlier about the Diamondbacks starting pitching, keeping the leadoff guy in an inning off base. Well, the last couple of innings, the leadoff guy has reached, and Joyce scored in that 5th inning, and now with the Trout double, they're threatening to score again here in the 6th. Nice play by Tomas right there. Very smooth, very easy slide to stop that ball from going into the corner.
And so with nobody out, the tying runs are in scoring position for Albert Pujols. Calhoun at third and Trout at second. Pujols singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. And Castillo and Anderson, who worked so well together the last time, have to get together again here. In the last inning, we saw Chase's career-high scoreless inning streak of 14 2/3 come to an end. When they scored a run on the Iannetta double play ball, and now they're threatening again here in the 6th.
I'm sure part of that meeting involved the attack on Albert Pujols here. You've got to be extremely careful.
Belts it to the left field corner. Foul.
I mean, for me, this is one of those situations you don't care if you walk Albert Pujols. You might even think about walking him intentionally, but it would put the go-ahead run on base, and that's usually a no-no. But then you see a loud strike like this. I mean, that ball got over the fence, a screaming line drive.
Plus, it's Albert's third look here at Chase Anderson. That's another thing to factor in. Bullpen will get busy for the Diamondbacks. The 0-1 to Pujols. Pop up near fair territory and drifting into the seats. So Anderson's ahead 0-2. Pujols started off slowly for the Angels this year. Hit just 208 in April. But he's really picked up the production since. He homered 8 times in May. He's already hit 8 more homers here in June. and in 14 games this month is hitting .370.
The Angels have 18 home runs this month, or 14 rather.
That is knocked down by Ahmed. Calhoun hesitated for a moment. He'll come in and score. They get the out at first, and the run scores to make it 3-2, but Pujols thinks he was safe. And he's not going anywhere. Adrian Johnson, the first base umpire. Mike Scioscia waiting for word from the dugout. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Nick Ahmed.
Another range check for Nick. Had to dive in the hole that time. That's a designed one-hop throw to Goldie across the diamond. An absolute strike on a hop just in time to get Pujols down there. You heard their bench coach Dino Ebel say out. And he got off the phone with their video coordinator, so no appeal.
So Calhoun scores. Trout stays put at second. 1 out, 3-2 ball game now. And here's David Freese, the third baseman. Freese is 0 for 2. He is flied out and grounded out. David Hernandez in the Sanderson Ford bullpen.
Try this Angels home run thing. They've hit 18 as a team in the month of June. 14 of those have been hit by Pujols with 8 and Trout with 6. So not getting a whole lot from the rest of the lineup as far as the long ball goes.
And Freese has got 10, and he's had great RBI opportunities this year, batting behind Trout and Pujols, and he's up there with Trout on second as the tying run, and 1 out here in the 6th. Seven hits for the Angels, 6 for the Diamondbacks. That one misses, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Conversations, the great ones are always talking in the dugout. Saw Goldie doing it earlier after his homer in the first, and here's Pujols. 2-1 pitch. In there.
Another good changeup from Chase Anderson. Just freezes David Freese, pardon the pun. Started it off the plate away, tailed it back to that outside corner.
2-2. Drives it to center. Pollock is there. Trout will tag and head for third. And with his speed, he's in there easily. Two down now for the left-hand hitting Matt Joyce. Conversation is ongoing. Joyce singled and scored his last time up. Grounded out to first base back in the second. Trout the tying run at third, 2 outs. One and one. The crowd here on an air-conditioned night. You look from the suites here behind home plate at Chase Field. Matinee game tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. 2-1 now. Alan Webster for the Diamondbacks and C.J. Wilson for the Angels. No TV tomorrow. It's a Throwback Thursday matinee, 12:40 start. 2 balls and 1 strike. 3-1. Chevron upcoming pitching matchup. Alan Webster was so good Saturday in San Francisco against straight edge racer C.J. Wilson. Oh, what a Diamondback debut that was for Webby. He flirted with a no-hitter for a while as well. 3-1. Walked him. First walk issued by Chase Anderson tonight. Here comes Mike Harkey. Johnny Giavotella, the second baseman, will be the hitter.
David Hernandez is certainly ready to come into the ball game, but I think they want to give Chase Anderson every possible opportunity to get out of this inning. This spot is due up fourth in the bottom half of the sixth. Let's get that one last out. Sometimes that can be the downfall as a manager or a pitching coach. Let's let him try to get out of this. Let's let him try to pitch his way out of it. He's facing the bottom of the Angels' order. I'm sure David Hernandez is ready to go by now, but Chip Hale put all of his eggs in Chase Anderson's basket right here and try to get this third out of the inning.
Well, Chase has said he likes these pressure situations, just kind of focusing on making one pitch at a time, and he needs an out here with runners in the corners and 2 down. Giavotella singled his last time up. He reached on an error in the third. Trout is the runner at third base. Matt Joyce at first. Giavotella is a guy who does not strike out very often. He's a good contact guy up there. He'll put it into play more often than not. And he lines it right to Aaron Hill. And Chase Anderson leaves with a 3-2 lead. Bottom 6 coming up.
Our memorable moment, July 9th, 2001 at Safeco Field, that home run haven up there in Seattle. Luis Gonzalez beat Sammy Sosa, the Cubs, to win the home run derby.
Talk about a home run haven. They got right now Giants and Mariners at Safeco Field. Madison Bumgarner and King Felix scoreless in the 6th. Season ticket headquarters here at Chase Field. Our answer all your questions for you. What kind of seats you can get, how you get them, where they are, all that kind of stuff. Different season ticket packages you can check in. That is staffed throughout every home game here at Chase Field. Season ticket headquarters. That's the place to come on down and ask all your questions about Diamondbacks season tickets.
Gonzo got all the credit for winning the home run derby, but former D-backs bullpen catcher Jeff Matuzis was his batting practice pitcher that day and was putting him on a tee for it.
Everybody has their own personal pitcher, it seems like, in those things. Remember when Robbie Cano won it, he had his dad pitching to him. That was a couple of years ago. Chris Owings 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. And he drives it to left. Off the base of the wall. CO takes the turn, and he's in there with his 10th double. Well, we've seen him barrel up the ball more and more lately and hit some deep fly balls to left field and center field.
He's a little more patient that time. Let the ball travel and then pulled the trigger. That good quick swing produces a double off the base of the wall out there in left field. Leadoff man on.
Looks like Mike Scioscia is going to pull the trigger here and ask for the baseball. That'll be it for Santiago. Diamondbacks lead the Angels 3-2. Back after this. Arizona is brought to you in part by Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. By Card Power from Arizona Federal Credit Union. Now that's the power of us. By Tire Pros. For the best selection of Continental and General brand tires, visit one of the 22 locally owned Arizona Tire Pros locations. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. Downtown Phoenix, a good ball game going here. Diamondbacks and Angels. D-backs lead at 3-2, bottom 6. In 1987, the National League Cy Young Award winner was a reliever for the Philadelphia Phillies, Steve Bedrosian. He had 40 saves that year and a 2.83 ERA. Here is his son Cam on for the Angels.
Steve Bedrosian spent some time with the San Francisco Giants when I was coaching out there, and I can tell you that he was one of the more delightful guys I ever played with.
Well, he's from Massachusetts. Wellington Castillo knocks it into right, and the Diamondbacks have runners on the corners with nobody out. Castillo, who homered his last at bat to lead off the fourth, is 2 for 3.
I told this story in the past as you get a look at Cam Bedrosian in his second major league season and what his daddy Steve did in 14 major league seasons. After Bedrock retired as a player, he made his home right outside Atlanta. When we came through town the next year, he gave me a call and said, "Hey, you want to go to lunch? I'm in town. I'll come by and pick you up." I said, "All right." Gave me a call from downstairs and said, "I'm in the lobby." I said, "Well, why don't you come on up? We'll talk for a little while." He says, "I can't. I have a pig in the back of the truck."
A pig?
A pig.
Like a real pig.
Pulled in front of the luxury hotel that we were staying at there in Atlanta and had a pig in the back of his pickup truck.
"Sir, may I valet your pig? Here's the ticket." You know, dumb question. What's he doing with a pig?
Well, he had a farm, had a ranch, you know, kind of a gentleman farmer there outside of Atlanta, and I think he decided he needed a new pig or something.
Well, it happens. He pitched for the Braves for a while. Of course, Cam grew up in Sharpsburg, Georgia. Well, his dad was pitching for the Braves for a while. Steve Bedrosian played 14 years in the big leagues. 184 career saves. Some really good years with the Phillies. 86 he saved 29. 40 saves in 87. 28 saves, 23. 2 years with the Giants, a year with the Twins, 3 with the Braves. Started and ended his career as Atlanta pitcher. Now here's Cam. Just his second year in the big leagues. No TV on the game tomorrow. It's a Throwback Thursday matinee, 1240 radio only. We're back with you on the TV side Friday. Ruby De La Rosa and James Shields. How about that matchup? D-backs and Padres. That's one you got to be here for, or if you can't make it, watch on TV. But either way, there's some really good pitching matchups actually, BB, in that series with the Padres this weekend. You've got De La Rosa, Shields Friday, Robbie Ray, Tyson Ross Saturday, Jeremy Helix and Andrew Kashner on Sunday. As Ramos, the lefty, looks ready in the Angel bullpen. 1-1 to Ahmed. That's in there first strike. Pitcher spot is due up next, and here's that left field wonder, Cliff Pennington. What a day that was at Angel Stadium on Monday. As Tom Candiotti said, he doesn't think he's ever seen anybody have as much fun playing a big league game as Cliff Pennington had that night.
On his birthday.
1-2. Called strike 3. That one might have been inside, but Jim Wolf rings up Ahmed. Just snatched that one back in the zone. So 1 away, and Chase Anderson's night will end here. Chris Owings, the runner at third. Wellington Castillo at first, and here's Cliff Pennington to hit for the pitcher. 178 on the year, 5 RBIs, and Mike Scioscia going to make the mound visit this time. Cliff had that night we'll always remember Monday. Went into left field in that emergency relief role after we lost Ender Inciarte in the first inning. Dave McKay coaching him up. And Cliff had never played outfield in the big leagues before, but did a terrific job. That was his first, and he tells his teammates that's one. Here's another one, a little tougher play right at you. And Eric Ibar trying to stretch a single into a double. And here comes Pennington to throw him out.
Nice.
And oh, by the way, had a couple of hits, a bunt single, and an RBI in that game as well.
In a situation just like this, first and third with one out, he put down a safety squeeze bunt up the first base side of the field, legged it out for an infield hit, and the run scored from third. That could have possibly been why Mike Scioscia went out to the mound there, just to remind these guys that, hey, this guy will bunt in this situation.
Well, that's one of the things about you play these long series, a 4-gamer here. This is game 3, and you get a little more familiar with the guys on the other side. Scouting reports and video are one thing, but once you've seen her once or twice. Hung up. A bad mistake there by Chris Owings. Castillo in at second. CO trying to get a big secondary lead coming down that line. Just built up a little too much speed and couldn't stop himself. And he's a dead duck down there at third.
not sure if that was a missed sign there. Somebody might have missed a squeeze or a safety squeeze. I mean, CO came way off that bag down there. That's not a normal secondary lead for a guy coming off the bag at third.
Yeah, that was a dead run.
Yeah, I got to believe somebody missed something right there.
So they might have had a play on there. But Castillo now at second with 2 outs and a 2-out count on Pennington. Missed opportunity there. 2-5-2 by the way on the putout. Penny lines it right to Pujols. So the Diamondbacks had a first and third threat, nobody out, and cannot get a run across. It stays 3-2. Angels 3-2. D-backs bats have done some damage here. Wellington Castillo has a homer. Yasmani Tomas an RBI triple. But it started with Goldie in the first.
How many times have we said that over the last 3 years? Started with Goldie in the first.
His 19th of the year, a solo shot with 2 outs in that first inning off Hector Santiago. And now the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks, the right-hander David Hernandez.
His third appearance since coming off the disabled list. Chip was saying because of the long outings by the starters and the way it's set up for the late inning relievers in that bullpen, David just wasn't getting much work. He was throwing on the side after ball games were over just to stay in shape, but getting some game action here in the 7th today.
Well, he'll work to Chris Iannetta, the 8th place hitter in the Angel order. Pitcher spot is due up next, and it looks like Efren Navarro is going to hit for Bedrosian. Iannetta 0 for 2, grounded into a double play his last time up, but the Angels got to run home on that one. They added their second run on the Pujols ground down back in the 6th. Vote AJ. Vote Goldie. Vote for all of them. Got to catch up to those Royals. You can vote up to 35 times for every email address, and we have voting stations open here at the ballpark. Right back up the middle. Iannetta belts it to center. Chris Iannetta just 2 for his last 27. And that's a single to lead off the 7th. And Efren Navarro will be the hitter. Navarro hitting .270, just 1 extra base hit in 37 at bats this year. And the Angels have the leadoff man aboard for the 3rd straight inning. The first 2 have scored. Navarro hits for Bedrosian. He's been up and down from AAA to the big leagues each of the last 4 years. Efrain Navarro. Over 500 career games at the AAA level. A career .317 hitter there. And a guy Mike Scioscia says can put balls in play. He's become a better player from understanding his game and his swing. He's a gap-to-gap guy and a tough out. You like him in these situations. Hernandez ahead 0-2.
Navarro, a first baseman by trade, and obviously you're not going to get a lot of playing time with the big guy they have down at first for the Angels. So he's been working on some outfield play. Went to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Was a teammate of my son Michael's.
And he was a 50th round pick out of UNLV by the Angels in 07. Parts of 9 seasons in the minors. How much of a journeyman does that make him? Well, they don't even have a 50th round anymore. They stop at 40. This one is driven toward the pool. And one hops over the wall. And that's a break for the Diamondbacks as Iannetta will have to go back to third. A ground rule double for Efrain Navarro. And that one was belted to right center.
Navarro had 3 consecutive seasons in AAA where he hit over 30 doubles in a season. Fortunately, didn't get much lift on this one. Otherwise, it probably goes into the pool out there in right center. As it is, one hop off the warning track up over the fence.
Second and third, nobody out, and here's the leadoff man, Eric Ibar. Conference time at the mound. And again, you've got a relatively new catcher. We've spent a week or so with Wellington Castillo, but still everybody has to get together on these things.
As I mentioned, David hasn't been throwing a lot in ball games. Only his 3rd appearance since coming back off the DL. So Mark Reed has caught Hernandez more recently than either Wellington Castillo or Jared Saltalamacchia.
Mark Reed, the bullpen catcher down there. Well, Ibar tonight is 0 for 3. And he's 2 for his last 29 at the plate. Castillo, it seems like, jawing a bit with the Angel dugout there. I think they were on him about the stoppage in play, and he kind of just waves his hand, enough out of you. So some bench jockeying going on there from the Anaheim bench. Iannetta is at third, Navarro at second, nobody out, and here's Ibar. Pops up the bunt. Close to a 3-man weave there, but Hernandez has got it.
Well, the tallest man takes charge right there. David Hernandez, towering over Aaron Hill and Wellington Castillo, decides, hey, before we let this ball drop, I'm just going to grab it before anybody else can get it.
And here comes Chip Hale. You've got the lefty Cole Calhoun coming up. Aaron Hill and David Hernandez. All right, we got the that's all that matters. And that'll be the end of the night for Hernandez. You've got the lefty Calhoun coming up. Trout Pujols behind him. Oliver Perez on his way in. Back after this. they're between the ages of 10 and 14. Then come on out Sunday here to Chase Field. For the Fox Sports Arizona Sanderson Ford Kidcaster auditions from 11:30 to 1:30 at the Sandlot near Baxter's Den during the Diamondbacks and Padres game. And you never know, maybe we'll see you up here, so say cheese. Diamondbacks trying to hang on to a 3-2 lead in the 7th. The Angels have a threat going, and the new pitcher is Oliver Perez, his 30th appearance this year. Angels have Chris Iannetta as the tying run at third. Efrain Navarro the go-ahead run at second, and one out for Cole Calhoun. And you've got Trout behind him, Pujols after that. There are two right-handers throwing in the Diamondback bullpen. So this might be a one-and-done deal here for Ollie. Calhoun 2 for 3. He has singled twice and scored a run. Puts this up in the air to center. AJ coming in. And out of the catcher at third, bluffs and holds. Good job there by Oliver Perez. And see the discussion. All right, do we go with a righty here? Do we let Perez pitch to Trout? You've got first base open, but Pujols behind him.
Well, you saw Glenn Sherlock give that universal signal for go out there and talk to him and stall for some time.
You've got Addison Reed and Daniel Hudson throwing in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Reed is ready. Huddy's still throwing, and here comes Chip Hale. He's going to make the move for the right-hander here. Angels had second and third, nobody out. And the Diamondbacks trying to wiggle off the hook. Daniel Hudson coming in to face Mike Trout. Back after this. Hudson, he's out there with 2 on and 2 out, first base open. The numbers on Huddy his 24th appearance. The question is, Bob Brenly, and this is a tough one, which right-hander do you pitch to with that base open down there at first? You want to go after Trout or walk him and pitch to Pujols?
Well, sometimes you're presented with options and none of them are any good. But for me personally, I think I'd go after Pujols. Trout for me is a guy that really handles fastballs well. You can't throw it hard enough for him not to be able to turn on it. Pujols, I think you can get in on him with a good fastball, and Huddy has shown a good fastball in his appearances this year. But you know, to answer your question, I don't want to pitch to either one of them.
That's the dilemma here in facing this Angel lineup. So you've got Iannetta, the tying run at third, Navarro, the go-ahead run at second, 2 outs, first base open. Trout the hitter, Pujols on deck. Let's see what they do. Looks like they're going to pitch to Mike Trout.
Now, Trout hitting .395 with runners in scoring position this year. Albert Pujols on the other hand hitting .224, but it's still two very, very dangerous hitters.
Now there is also the option of sort of pitching around him, but he dropped that breaking ball in there for a strike, so it looks like they're going after Trout here.
And that was where you could really start to expand the zone.
Headed for the right field corner, but foul. Well, Mike Trout led the American League in walks 2 years ago, and then last year led the American League in strikeouts. And this year his walk rate is down a bit, about 5%, and he's been a little more aggressive up there, so maybe, especially now in an 0-2 count, you can take advantage.
High fastballs, we saw Chase Anderson try to exploit it earlier in the ball game. Trout will chase that high heater, but you better make sure you get it up there a little bit higher than he can handle.
Wants it up. 97, a ball and 2 strikes. Trout struck out in the first and fourth against Chase Anderson, doubled in the sixth. And as we stretch here at Chase Field, it's still 3-2 D-backs. Aaron Hill at third. They retired Trout. They pitched to him, and they got him. And Huddy does the job.
Diego Padres for a 7-10 start, and the first 20,000 fans will get a D-backs backpack courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Get tickets now at dbacks.com.
Bottom 7, and making just his second major league appearance, it's rookie right-hander, the pride of Tates Creek High School in Lexington, Kentucky, Trevor Gott, 22-year-old. Who made his big league debut Sunday afternoon against the Oakland A's in Anaheim. One perfect inning. Good ball game here tonight. A lot going on at Chase Field. Good crowd on hand. Join us tomorrow afternoon. A throwback Thursday matinee. No TV on that game. The series finale, Diamondbacks and Angels. Come on down here. Enjoy our air conditioning. Watch Mike Trout and Albert Pujols. You're not going to find a better deal than that.
No.
dbacks.com/tickets.
While you're down here, vote for Goldie and A.J. Pollock to go to Cincinnati to the All-Star game this summer. Brought to you by Fox.
97 got can bring it a little bit. Here's A.J., the leadoff man, who's 0 for 3. He has struck out and twice flied out. Vote for A.J. Pollock. Get him in the All-Star game. Because if it's not A.J. in the All-Star game, it'll only be good American ballpark.
That's right.
It'll be great American ballpark if he's there. If not, not so much. dbacks.com/vote. Up to 35 times for every email address you have. So vote for your D-backs. Got a little wild here. 3-0. That's in there for a strike. And AJ has been on a roll ever since that series in Miami. 361 over his last 27 games. Albert Pujols has got it for the out. What a play. Albert can still pick him down there.
He's always had really good hands. Initially came up as a third baseman originally. Made his way across the diamond. Played some left field before moving back over to first base.
David Peralta. David singled and scored in the third inning. He struck out twice. Able to hold up there, and it's 2-1. David, as Chip Hale told us earlier, in Anaheim this week with Ender Inciarte injured, will be the backup center fielder. He'll be out there in left just about every day. But should the need arise and they needed a guy in center, it would be Peralta. And they're a little thin out there right now. Although Danny Dorn can play outfield. He's played a lot of outfield in the minor leagues. And as we know, Cliff Pennington can play left field at least.
Or as we like to call him, the secret weapon.
That's right. Peralta strikes out. We got to get A.J. Pollock into the All-Star game. Here's A.J. on the possibility.
It would be a really cool thing to happen to go to the All-Star game, but just a game every day and for this team, and that's my focus. Coming in and just playing hard for the team, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't happen.
Sounds like another guy we know. Oh, this guy. Goldie drives it to right center. It's in there for a base hit. He's 2 for 4.
Right field, Yasmani Tomas.
It's just such a good hit. I mean, that's the understatement of the century. But when you watch him on an everyday basis, you just have to marvel at that quick swing. How many times he gets the barrel of the bat on the ball and hits a line drive. Just amazingly consistent.
Yasmani Tomas has singled and tripled tonight. He's got an RBI. He's also stolen a base. Struck out his last time up. Well, for Goldie, always trying to encircle a date on a calendar, look at a schedule. When did it really start? What was the date on which that switch was flipped? Well, for Goldie, you go back, it's April 26th. That was the day the Diamondbacks were swept here by the Pirates. He was hitting .270 for the year at that point. I know it's hard to believe, Goldie hitting .270. Yeah. But he was at .270 when the Pirates won that Sunday game and swept the series. Since then, look what he's done. 46 games, he's hit .395. And that's a span of 46 games during which he scored 35 runs, driven in 37 runs, and walked 39 times. I mean, that's nuts. And he keeps getting better as the year progresses. The batting average, the on-base percentage, they have gone up every month. He hit .338 in April with a .446 OBP, and the numbers have gone up from there as the season has gone on. Hashtag vote Goldie. DBacks.com/vote. His 18th home run of the year, Monday at Angel Stadium, at number 19. Tonight back in the first at Chase. 0-1 to Tomas. 2 outs, Goldie at first. Diamondbacks led this game 3-0 after 4. The Angels have chipped away. They got 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and a 2nd and 3rd no-out threat in the 7th, but the Diamondback bullpen got the job done. Tomas knocks it into right, a base hit. Now it's Manny Tomas, a 3-hit night. Nice and easy the other way. Very easy, fluid swing that time.
You talk about pitchers that throw easy gas, and I think Tomas takes an easy swing. When he drives that ball to right field, it's almost like second nature. Just flip it out there. That's an easy base hit. Big hole on that side of the field. He takes advantage.
10 hits now for the D-backs. Brings up Aaron Hill. 0 for 2. He walked in the first. Also stole a base. Goldie at second. Tomas at first. 2 down. .95 is in there from Gott. It's 0-1. Aaron getting the start at third base tonight against the left-hander Hector Santiago. So Jake Lamb still an option on the bench for Chip Hill. And Hill down 0-2. Jake getting the night off.
Tuffy goes switch into Jake's left right there. I had a chance to talk to Tuffy on the clubhouse before. He was showing me his scars. He got his stitches out tonight. He's excited, moving around really well.
Nice.
It's going to be a while, but good to see Tuffy back here at the ballpark.
Oh my God, yanked that one. Iannetta did a good job to get back there and get a glove on it. Really had to jump out into that left-hand batter's box. Yikes.
Catcher's range.
Oh, they're just great athletes.
Oh, always. And there are pitchers that will test your range behind the plate.
And your patience. 1-2. It's a great name for a hometown if you're from the South. Trevor Gott. Tate's Creek, Kentucky. It's in Lexington. Yeah, he's down there at Tate's Creek.
Yeah, right down the road there from Willard Holler.
All right then.
All right then.
We're told by our Kentucky expert Brandon Webb it's 90 minutes from Lexington. That's Webby country. Fly ball right field. An easy play for Cole Calhoun. Diamondbacks get a pair of 2-out singles, but they lead 2. We go to the 8th. They lead the Angels 3-2. 3-2. Daniel Hudson back out there after he got a big out against Mike Trout to snuff out an Angels threatening last half inning. Take a look now at our Arizona Federal Credit Union Power Player of the Game. You want power? Well, this is the guy. 539 career home runs. Albert Pujols.
Creeping up that list. You figure he'll pass Mike Schmidt for sure this season. Pretty good chance he's going to pass Manny Ramirez as well.
Mike Scioscia says every time Pujols hits a homer, there's another immortal that he's now in the same sentence with. And he's coming up on Schmidt and Ramirez and Reggie Jackson. About 120 shy of Willie Mays. Don't forget 3,000 hits. He's about 400 away from 3,000. And at the age of 35, shows no signs of slowing down. Leading the American League with 19 homers. So it's Pujols, Freese, and Joyce 4, 5, and 6 in the Anaheim 8th. Pujols definitely seems rejuvenated this year. He's healthy. That's what Chip Hale pointed out. That seems to have made a big difference. Chip said he's watched him from the Oakland A's dugout the last couple of years and said, look, this guy, the last few years in Anaheim, he's been playing on one leg. And the numbers haven't been quite what you're used to seeing. But now that he's 100% this year, they're back to Pujols-like levels. Two and one. And Pujols doesn't talk a lot about, passing Fox and Mantle and all those. He will tell reporters all the time he doesn't want to talk about it. Sooner or later he'll enjoy his place in history, but for now it's about winning ball games. That's what he's here for, he says. Don't get caught up in all that stuff, especially during the season.
It's that single-minded focus that make Pujols one of the all-time greats. You think about all the great players in the game and their ability to block out distractions and focus on what it is they had to do to be successful is part of what makes them great.
That guy's always locked in. Well, Chris Iannetta was asked about, what's it like to play with Albert Pujols while he's on this run, and Iannetta said you can definitely tell that Pujols is excited by the way he's hitting the ball again this year. He's kind of back and he's feeling it a little bit this year. He's having a good time. At the same time, he's always very professional about it. Very shallow right for Tomas. And of course, Albert Pujols, from his days in St. Louis, a long association with Tony La Russa and Dave McKay. Here's Albert on that.
They're like fathers to me. Dave and Tony, and not just them, but Jose Oquendo, Dave Duncan. We had a great coaching staff, and I don't think I think anybody prepared themselves more than Tony and those coaches. Back then, they just unbelievable. They always did the things in spring training to get ourselves ready for the season.
And now that legacy is here, wearing Sedona red instead of Cardinal red. There's another former Cardinal now, David Freese, their 2011 postseason hero.
Boy, it's a lot of fun to sit and talk to Dave McKay about base running. Dave knows a lot about this game, a tremendous instructor of outfielders, teaching the proper fundamentals, little ways to cut corners when you can in the outfield. But when you talk to him about base running, his eyes light up. Been a first base coach for so long. Really knows what he's looking for. And I was down in the coach's room earlier today, and he was on his iPad there and was watching the moves of the Angels pitchers to first base, their deliveries to home plate, had his stopwatch out, timing it up. And he had a checklist of 8 things that he looks for in every pitcher. And one of those 8 things will usually go sideways for a guy, and that will be a tip-off to Dave McKay when the base runners can go ahead and take a break for second base.
He really does have it down to an art form.
Yep.
when he talks you through it, you stand there with your mouth hanging open. Wow, this guy's working on a whole other level. It's amazing how much he's picked up. Now watch the guy's glove here. Watch his foot. Watch his hip.
Even as little a thing as inhaling and exhaling. You know, some pitchers will take a big, deep breath when they're throwing home, but when they're throwing to first, they don't take that deep breath.
96 miles an hour elevated from Huddy, and Freese strikes out.
All kinds of good things to help those base runners on their trip around the bases. David Freese chasing a high fastball there for strike 3.
So Hudson has retired all 3 he's faced. Trout, Pujols, Freese, by the way. No small feat. Here's Matt Joyce. Joyce, who slumped badly this year, has had a pretty good night. He singled and scored in the 5th, walked his last time up.
Matt Joyce hit that ball to Goldie, made the nice diving play in foul territory, and shoveled on to chase Anderson for the out at first base.
Goldie's had a couple of down there tonight. A couple of plays that have been highlight reel worthy. Shift is on for Joyce, and Hudson's ahead 0-2.
Good changeup, good location, good movement on this pitch. Even if Joyce swings at that, that's a ground ball.
Especially with the shift on. Well, Joyce's slow start was not helped by a game last month in Toronto. He said he thought a Monday afternoon game was a night game at the Rogers Center, so he didn't show up to the ballpark until batting practice was almost over. It was a Canadian holiday, Victoria Day in Canada, so they played Monday afternoon. He thought it was a night game, and it didn't go over well.
Whoops.
Yeah. And he fessed up. He said, look, it's, you know, one of those things that should never happen, especially to a guy like him, a guy who's been around. But he just assumed night game, but nope. Victoria Day in Canada, they play Monday afternoon at the Rogers Center. So he was sat down for a few games. 1-2. Go back to that idea of Wellington Castillo dropping that knee. Rob, you talked about that the other day.
It actually started in a regular stance, but goes down to a knee to block that pitch in the dirt. Yeah, Glenn Sherlock was saying that both the catchers have a tendency to sit up a little too high behind the plate and give a target that's a little higher than they would like. So there he goes down to a knee.
Joyce drives it to center. AJ whiffs on it. And Joyce is on the line, headed for third. DiSarcini will stop him there. That just carried and carried over his head. And fortunately for the Diamondbacks, Joyce had to hold up at third base.
They put a charge on that one just to the left, to straightaway center field out near that 413 mark. AJ gave it a good effort, and for the second time this year, we had a center fielder and a left fielder arguing over who's going to pick up the ball and throw it back to the infield.
Seems like he had a beat on it too, but it just kept going.
I remember in Dodger Stadium on that last road trip, Ender Inciarte and AJ Pollock came together in a very similar way and kind of looked at each other. Are you going to pick it up or should I pick it up?
That has scored a triple for Matt Joyce, his first of the year. And so he's the tying run at third. Here we go again for Daniel Hudson. He got a big out to end the 7th. He needs one more to escape the 8th. And it'll work to Johnny Giavitello with a tying run at third and 2 outs. Giavitello singled in the 5th. He has been aboard twice tonight, reached on an error in the 3rd. 1 for 3. Right behind Gary DiSarcini at third. Talked about the idea that this is Johnny Drama. He has a knack for the big hit late in ball games, Giavatelli. Hudson's ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Funny how that works. You come up with a couple of big base hits to win ball games, and suddenly you're Johnny Drama. The reality is 2 out runners in scoring position. Giavatelli is 5 for 24 this year, but the 5 must have been big ones.
Leads, well, he's batting .485 with 9 RBIs in late and close situations. There you go. And this is exactly that. A ball and 2 strikes. Got him, Daniel Hudson. What a night he's had. It's H for Houdini and H for Hudson. He ends the 7th with a big out and ends the 8th with 1 more. It's 3-2 D-backs.
Webb, we will no doubt talk about Chase Anderson and Paul Goldschmidt and his exploits, but there has to be a way that we find room for Daniel Hudson, right?
Wow, absolutely. 2 innings in a row. He's made some huge pitches. First inning, top of the 7th inning, got Mike Trout to roll over with 2 guys on to get out of that inning. Huge strikeout right there to end the 8th inning. Just unbelievable job by him. Attack,
attack, attack. So that's where we'll be, hopefully, coming up after a Diamondbacks win. Diamondbacks Live. When Steve and Bob are done, Steve will get it right back to you. Take it away.
Leading off for the D-backs, second baseman, Chris Owings.
Fernando Salas, the new pitcher for the Angels, the right-hander. We saw him Monday. He came out to start the 9th inning and opened up against Chris Owings in that ball game. Owings doubled and scored, and sure enough, here comes CO to lead off the Arizona 8th. Owings belted one deep to left center his last time up for a double. Salas in that ball game Monday, charged with 2 runs on 3 hits. Got a bunt for a base hit. Freezes on it. The barehand play. And a nice backhand scoop by Pujols.
He's able to make the play that time. Short hops Albert down there at first base to get the out. I'm really surprised the Diamondbacks haven't attempted to do that a few more times today.
It's been a night full of Diamondback heroes, and here's one of them. The catcher Wellington Castillo, a homer in the 4th, his 4th of the year. He singled his last time up. He's 2 for 3. Nick Ahmed is in the on-deck circle. He'll be next. Pitcher spot is after that. There's a strike. Boy, Daniel Hudson, unbelievable. Just a tremendous job to get big outs. Trout to win the 7th and Giavatelli to win the 8th. Both times with a tie or go-ahead runs on base.
And the fastball gets all the attention because Huddy can light up that radar gun. He's consistently in the upper 90s, approaching 100 miles an hour. But the straight changeup is a pitch that's really been a good weapon for him because his slider's been a little inconsistent. So it gives him that off-speed pitch to go along with that mid to upper 90s fastball.
Ball and a strike to Wellington Castillo. Gets it up in the air to right. Calhoun near the line. 2 down.
Hey fans, we invite you to play Kachinko by signing up at one of the 20 interactive kiosks right here at Chase Field during any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Shortstop, Nick Ahmed.
So here's Nick Ahmed, 0 for 2. He walked in the second. Brad Ziegler will apparently get the 9th inning. He's warming up the Sanderson Ford bullpen. Pitcher spot is next, and Danny Dorn is in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Hudson. Danny Dorn, what a big night last night, couple of hits. In his first game back with the Diamondbacks. Dorn had one of the biggest hits this year at Chase Field. That's a 2-run, 2-out double against Craig Kimbrell in a 9th inning situation against the Padres, in a game that Diamondbacks lost in extra innings, but Dorn came up there, 0-2 count, and delivered a big time hit down the right field line that tied the ball game. A blown save for Kimbrell that day.
And as a reward for that big base hit, he got sent back to AAA right after the ball game.
The numbers crunch.
But you know, to his credit, Danny Dorn went down there and just continued to rake. Hit 426 in Reno this year. Would have been very easy after what he went through to go back down and pout or feel sorry for yourself or ask to get traded out of this organization, but he didn't do that. He just went down and played some hard ball, sprayed base hits all over the Pacific Coast League.
39 games for Phil Nevin down there at Reno. 426 and 4 homers. He's a career 284 hitter in the minor leagues. That's a decade worth of minor league ball. 2-2 to Ahmed. This is away and it's full. That was definitely the biggest hit of Danny's career. And the California native has had some nice timing. He got his first big league hit at Dodger Stadium. Used to sell ice cream at Angel Stadium and had 2 hits there last night. Grew up about 10 minutes away in Diamond Bar. That's in there for a call, strike 3. So we go to the 9th. Brad Ziegler on his way in with a 1-run lead. It's 3-2 Diamondbacks. What a night it's been here at the ballpark. That was the Cox Gig Life high-speed highlights, and here we go. Ninth inning, D-backs with a one-run lead. It's 3-2, and Brad Ziegler is on for the save.
30th game this season for Brad Ziegler, 8 out of 10 in saves this season.
1.61 ERA. Chris Iannetta, the Angels catcher, will lead off the inning. Pitcher spot is after that. Kyle Kubica is in the on-deck circle. After that, it's Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Iannetta singled his last time up. He is 3 for his last 28 at the plate and just misses that one. Foul down the left field line. Mike Podsiadlik had a nice beat on that one, but got away from Mike. I'm going to charge Podsiadlik with an error on that one.
Low to high, low to high.
Dick Robertson, our holding glover down the right field line. That's through the wickets and into center, a base hit. Tying runs aboard.
I would imagine we'll see a pinch runner down there for Chris Iannetta representing the tying run in the game, and indeed he's going to be taken down.
Looks like Taylor Featherston will be the pinch runner. So Featherston runs for Iannetta. He's the tying run.
Number 18, Kyle Kubica.
And Kyle Kubica will hit for the pitcher. Featherston. Kubica just called up from AAA a week ago. He's hit safely in 4 of his first 6 big league games. He's at .316. He singled and scored a run Monday at Angel Stadium. Had a couple of hits last night. Josh Colemencher starts to get loose in the Sanderson Ford bullpen. 1-1.
Always concerning in a one-run game when the leadoff man gets on. Maybe not quite so much when Brad Ziegler is the pitcher. He is Mr. Double Play. Most double plays induced since 2008. He's got 93. The next closest is Jim Johnson with 70.
Kubica very briefly a teammate of Paul Goldschmidt at Texas State. Kubica, a 3rd round pick out of that program by the Braves 4 years ago. Goldie's number recently retired down there. 1-1. He did not go. That's Doug Eddings down there at 3rd.
Eddings at 3rd base tonight. If you were behind the plate, that would have been a called strike.
Because it was around his ankles?
Right down there around his shoelaces.
Kubica has a knack for hitting doubles, at least in the minor leagues. 57 games this year at Salt Lake, 21 doubles. Bounce to second, double play ball. Owens on the goal in there. BB, you called it. Double play ball. There it is.
That's not brain surgery. Brad Ziegler in that heavy sinking fastball gets a lot of grounders. That one hit right at Chris Owens fairly hard. Nice turn up the middle. Nick Ahmed took a hit right there from the pinch runner Featherston, but managed to complete the relay to complete the double play.
2 down for the leadoff man. It's Eric Ibar. Ibar 0 for 4. And he is really scuffling right now. He's 2 for his last 30 at the plate. Baseball is in full swing, fans. It's happening all around us. So grab a Pepsi and some friends and join us at a D-backs game and live it. It's for the thrill of the game. Pepsi, live for now, the official soft drink of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1-0. In a very entertaining ball game here tonight. 28,000 plus on hand. Don't forget tomorrow. Come on down. No TV. Throwback Thursday, a matinee 12:40. dbacks.com/tickets. Alan Webster and C.J. Wilson. 1-2. Two. Ivar still with just one hit in the series. Roll to second. Owings is there, and the Diamondbacks win it 3-2. What a night for the D-back bullpen. David Hernandez got a big out. Oliver Perez got a bigger one. Daniel Hudson was sensational, and Brad Ziegler closes a 3-2 win.
Yeah, pitching was all right. Goldie had himself a nice ball game too. That home run early in the ball game spotted him to a 1-0 lead. They tacked on a couple of more after that. A run in third. David Peralta scored on the triple by Yasmani Tomas, and then a Wellington Castillo homer in the fourth, and the pitchers made it stand up.
Speaking of home runs, with 2 today, the Diamondbacks have raised a total of $25,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a donation by going online to homerunchallenge.org. And the D-backs have clinched at least a split of this 4-game set. They have a chance tomorrow in a 12:40 start to win the series, and oh, by the way, get back to 500 on the year. So we'll see if we can climb Mount 500 tomorrow. Let's start Diamondback Live. The post-game show is on the air. Brandon Webb is with Todd Walsh. Todd.
All right, thank you very much, Steve. We'll get to